Hey Nick, hey Sonic State. This is Tim Chandler. I'm the product manager for Nektar. We're at NAMM, where 1 year ago we introduced our flagship controller, the Panorama P4. It's a very in-depth MIDI controller, generic. It works with all software, but of course, when we introduced it, we really were touting the Reason support, which shows very deep integration, allows you to use Reason without looking at the screen, without using the mouse, without using the Qwerty. And we've since announced similar support for Cubase. And I'm going to show you just a little bit about how you can use Cubase with the Panorama.
Hey, wait, what's this?
This is the P1. The P1 we are announcing as available in April. It's going to map at 300. It's basically taking this section, all of the intuitive Nektar mapping that you get with Reason, with Cubase, or with anything else, and then putting it in a nice compact version, which is much more portable. You know, people who are accustomed to their keys, then they can get the P1 and have the benefit from the Nektar's navigation and integration without having to change their keyboard. So there we go. Okay, so just like Reason, the integration with Cubase is based on 3 specific modes. So we have the mixer mode, instrument mode, and transport mode. Start in mixer mode. You've got the usual controls that a lot of intelligent controllers have had with Cubase before, where you have the 8-channel mixer, you have the record arm, select, mute and solo down here, and up here you have pans and sends. So that's all pretty standard stuff. What isn't so standard is these controls here. Now, as I change the track that I'm selecting in Cubase, the white indicator tells me which mixer channel I'm controlling. You'll also notice that the motor fader jumps around to match the level. See here? And so everything down here as well also follows the selected track. So whenever I'm playing with my keyboard, I'm always going to have immediate control of the level here and the EQ. So I can enable the EQ and start tweaking the EQ. If I go to the next track, again, which is an audio track, the piano, again, I can play around with the EQ, so on and so forth. So it takes away the thought process of which channel is it that I need to control in the mixer, because everything's right there in front of you. It's all done based on whatever you're playing on the keyboard. EQ is fairly straightforward. Here's some new stuff that we've done. This is slightly different to Reason, of course, because Cubase is a different DAW. Rather than create a one-size-fits-all solution, we have to treat each DAW separately, and we have to really consider, like, well, we're making what is effectively like a dedicated hardware for the software. At the end of the day, the software is what we need to aspire to control, not the other way around. So we had to make quite a few changes in order to make sense of Cubase. Now if we go to the inserts page, you can see that we've got different plugins available to us. And if I click on edit, you can see the controls for those plugins. Now, this is controlling the VST instrument, but rather than using pages, we've got intuitive menus, just like we did in Reason for all of the Reason devices. And I can navigate to different aspects of the plugin that I'm controlling. And here I can control the limiter, limit the output from the piano. I can also add different effects by going to the inserts page, and I'm going to go down to select the slot I want to control. Then if I hold down the plugin control, I can control the, let's add a phaser potentially. Again, edit that.
So that's just, so again, this is very much real time, not looking at the computer at all, right?
Exactly, yeah, that's the whole idea. And that's taken a little bit further as well in the instrument mode. If I go to an instrument track where we have a VST instrument, Predator. This is Rob Papin's Predator. And if I press view, you can see obviously what it is we're going to control. And again, this works in a similar way. The navigation is just like Reason. So if I press the menu button, you can see all of the controls of Predator in an intuitive menu. So we've mapped out a VST instrument. If I want to control the filters, I can select filters, press enter, and then have my control of filter 1. I've got filter 2 here. So we got it.
So again, it's just totally mouse free, right?
Yeah, real-time control, and it prevents the need to really look up at the screen. You've got everything you need in front of you.
Do you have to do that on a per plugin basis, or does it just quiz the plugin to kind of say?
Yeah, good question. Actually, we're providing plugin maps one by one for all of the most important VST instruments. Now, of course, we can't cover them all. And should there be a plugin that we haven't mapped for you, we have a quick learn mode. I'll just show you that quickly. So if I'm at the top level of Predator, all I need to do is put into learn mode, and let's just say I want to put the envelope for the filter 1. I just move the control, then I move the control I want to assign it to, and it's assigned.
Right.
Then you can press menu, and you have a choice to save it, which means that every time I start Predator up from there on, it would always recall that particular mapping that you've done.
Does that save it like in a little config file on the computer? Is that how it works? Or is it?
Yeah, it's like our own little map file, yeah. And or I could just leave it as it is, which I'm going to do now, and then the next time you open up Predator, it will recall the defaults that we've already assigned for you. So yeah, VST support is quite in-depth.
So does it take a lot of time to map out VST for you guys?
It depends on the VST. It's a difficult one to answer, how long's a piece of string. But I guess the answer is yes, because you have to consider it very carefully. Which controls make sense to put on the first page, which controls make sense, the most important 8 controls should go on the first page. Something else I should show you actually in the navigation. Of course, all the controls we saw there were on the 8 encoders. If I press the envelopes, you can see I'm controlling the envelopes on the faders, but I'm still controlling the last selected controls, the last selected page I had on these. So if I then go to let's go to the LFOs, so I can control the LFOs here. I've still got my envelope controls over here. So the entire control surface is utilised to control the synth, just like in Reason. So that's the instrument mode, and then transport mode. You get a big clock display. We can set loop points. We can change the track and set a pre-count on and off. So if you move the song position pointer to anywhere particular part you want, and then you just hit Shift and go to R. So you've got to go to L, go to R, and so I've just set up a 2-bar loop there. Now once I've set up that loop, if I just I'm just going to close the Predator down, you can be able to see in transport mode. I can then move the loop around to any point I want, so you can record what you need there and then move it on, skip it along as well. Yeah. So we also have Qwerty macro support, and when you hold down the F keys, F1 to 11 become Qwertys, and we've given names to different ones. So we have the Cubase, we've got left, right, redo, duplicate, pretty standard stuff. Actually, a really good example of macros is over here on the Reason setup that we have. Excuse me, sorry. So we have, we don't just send one Qwerty control with our macros, we actually send up to 8. And what we've done here is given the ability to create a track in Reason. So when you hold down the F keys, you can see I've got a button labeled instrument and then different names of Reason devices. So when I press the instrument control, it sends the macros, several macros, in order to get to the list of instruments available. Then I can just select, NNXT, for example, F9, and it creates an NFFT instrument straight away. And, so that's one use of the macros, and it makes everything it's just that kind of final icing on the cake, if you like, to allow you to do everything you need to from the keyboard rather than the computer, and using Qwerty stuff.
And when is this available now, the Cubase?
No, it's available in March, is our aim.
And it's part of is it a free thing with the keyboard, or is it an add-on?
Yeah, it's a free, it's just a free, the firmware's already in there for you, it's just a free download for anyone who already owns the Panorama. and it will support the Panorama P6, which is our 61 key version that we announced in December. It supports the P4 that we obviously released last July, and the coming P1, which is going to be released in April. Okay.